Petri dish, the Petri dish, the Petri dish.
This is
The Petri dish, the Petri dish, the Petri dish. This is the Petri dish. There's something growing in here, and it's hearing problems because I keep messing with the audio settings and blowing my own ears out. Very unpleasant. I think I have it correct this time. Corrected all the things. Apparently, I've had a negative 25 decibel cut on my channel, which is why I've been so quiet in everything. So I've got that taken off now, and now I don't have the monitor feeding into the actual track, so you won't be able to hear the weird doubling effect either. And in fact, I'm going to reverse this so that we can... I hit the wrong button again.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's going to be in there. That's going to be in there for everybody.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So, yeah, we're just going to not have that going.
Yeah.
And then now we have our regular voices in our
I like
head
this
again.
So much better.
Yeah, so this is the direct one. So everyone's getting a little crash course in podcast production because I have to run myself through it every week.
Dear God.
Because now I'm like, all right, new software, different board than what I'm used to, and multiple different inputs. This is gonna be great. So yeah, for everyone wondering, I use a Yamaha MG10XU now, which I'm not gonna say it's top of the line. But it wasn't easy to figure out, so I'm going to assume that because it's not simple, it is therefore worth the money I spent on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so sorry for everyone's ears that just got blown out. I'm gonna edit it so that I mean you can even see the spike on the audio
That's so
where
bad.
it came through. So I'm gonna definitely cut that down so that they'll still get the experience of us getting wrecked, but they won't have to deal with the actual sound at the same volume we heard it.
Lucky them.
Oh boy, it's been a week. A week has happened, right?
Yeah.
No, we recorded late last time, so
Yeah.
only 5 days have happened.
Yeah. I'm back, just so you guys know.
Yeah, Alisha's here. Good news, Alisha, so far you're the highest reviewed guest of the year.
What? Oh, I'm the only guest of the year.
Hey, but people don't often write in to say how lovely you are.
Oh,
but
what? People did?
Yeah, I'm not going to say several people,
Oh.
but important people have.
Oh, thanks, guys. Hi.
One of my old coworkers from South Dakota, she listens in still. So hi,
Oh.
Sue. Thanks
Hi,
for
Sue.
listening.
Thanks for listening.
Eventually, we'll get back to South Dakota, and me, you, and Julie will all have lunch. Alicia will be there, and you guys can meet her, and you can do little hand claps, because I do every day. I'm just like, there she is.
Oh, stop.
So
Make
yeah,
me blush.
so it'll be great. But
He talks about going back to South Dakota all the time.
well, that was gonna be the plan for last year.
Yep. I know. It's always the plan.
That was the plan for last year, and then that shit's all gone, and we can't do it this year. We might not even be able to do the actual vacation that we have planned.
Yeah. I'm kind of worried about that, too.
So that's, if anything, we'll be doing cool stuff for your birthday, just like last year.
Oh, we got to do cool stuff for your birthday, too,
No,
though.
we don't have to. No, we don't have to.
we could probably... I could think of something. I could think of several things that we could do, I'm sure. I just don't want to tell you now. Well, like I was researching last year that cheese trail. Do you remember?
Nope.
Oh, that I must have not told you?
No, you were telling me about that because you were
In the
asking if I
Sonoma
want to do
County.
wine or beer.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'd much rather actually do beer.
Mm-hmm.
Beer and cheese.
Mm-hmm. And from what I heard that like the wine country's still open.
Oh, yeah. I mean, most of those places were like exclusive clubs
Yeah.
anyway
and so,
to go hang out in.
So if those places are open, then the cheese places, I'm hoping, are still open too. And if that's the case, we can get a little bungalow somewhere out in the hills somewhere and like go cheese and wine tasting. Cheers and beer tasting. Cheers and beers. Cheese and beer.
Cheers.
Cheers and beer.
Cheers and beers.
Cheers beer.
Cheese and bees. Have some cheese.
I cannot
Eat
talk
some bees.
today. I have said so many weird things all day.
Got that Monday feeling.
I guess this is how Mondays are.
This is how Mondays feel.
That's weird.
Yeah, where just you don't want to be. You didn't want to go back.
I never
Weekend
wanna
wasn't
go
long
back.
enough. Yeah,
I never want to go.
I just. It's been a rough Monday because now I've got them new brain pills, and so like they've been hitting hard. I think actually, I said this is the third day. I'm counting wrong because I've been breaking them in half. I was like, I've had 3. No, I've had
1.5.
I've had 5
Wait, what?
days with the drugs because I've been breaking them in half.
Oh, I thought you started 3 days ago.
Oh, 4 days ago. Because I've
you've had
taken
2
2 whole
pills.
pills so far.
Yeah.
My doctor was just like, maybe take half and see how you feel. I was like, that's good advice. That's what I do with all the drugs.
Yep.
So I've been taking half, and they just fucking kicked in today, and I'm so regulated. Yay.
Yeah, you're hella mellow.
But that's the thing is like, it's kind of good, you know, because I already had those allergy pills anyway to be like the take the edge off of the day, and I was just so jacked up on caffeine and Adderall that some days like I could just fucking feel my heart beating in my chest. So I was like, all right, I would like take half an allergy pill, just kind of take the edge off of all that.
Yeah.
Now I can just have that baseline normally, and if I over caffeinate myself, then I could do that again, but I'm trying to cut back on the caffeine since I'm already doing fucking speed every day.
Yeah.
Not every day. I even told my
You need
doctor
to be doing it every day, though.
I can't do it every day because one, I'll get a resistance to it, and then I'll need to get upped more and more. And I don't want to do that. I even cut back. I made them go from 20 milligrams down to 15 because I couldn't handle.
I thought it was you went down because you didn't have medication
because I didn't have them for like 3 months. Yeah, that too. And I didn't want to like immediately just punch my heart going back up to 20. So yeah, I did that, and I just told my doctor, I'm like, I'm just not doing more than 3 days in a row. That's my plan. Is like, don't take it for more than 3 days in a row, and don't go more than 1 day without taking some amount, so that I can like keep.
Those little fibers really help out, yeah.
Yeah. And so like on days that I might have to do things but it's still an off day, I'll take a 5. But on days that I don't have to do shit, I'll just get by on coffee. But we'll see how that goes with the Zoloft, because I really like I was ready to be in bed at 3 p.m. And I was like, there's so much stuff to do today.
I told you that's why we should have podcasted yesterday.
But yesterday I didn't want to do anything because it was the last day of the weekend.
Then this is your fault.
Yeah, most things are.
Not your fault, but like these are the consequences to the actions that we made.
Yes. But we did good today.
Yeah.
We did work, and then we went and had exercise.
I did a really good exercise today. I ran a lot more than I did last time.
And you got your 10,000 steps in, plus more. And we had a very sensible dinner.
I'm so hungry still, though. I still have like another 1,500 calories to burn. Not calories to burn, but to eat.
Remember, that the number doesn't mean that's the amount you should eat today. That means that's the deficit that you're in, which then equates to weight loss because you're at a calorie deficit. The calorie deficit's a good thing. Also, sometimes it's not a bad thing to go to bed hungry so you can actually want to eat breakfast.
Who eats breakfast? Healthy people.
Yeah, like regular normal people.
Healthy people eat breakfast.
Honestly, though, like that whole breakfast is the most important meal of the day thing, that was actually just a scam by the cereal companies. They were just trying to get people to like eat more breakfast in general whenever.
Well, like your body burns more, not calories, energy in the morning. So that's why they say like it's good to eat the unhealthy foods in the morning, like chocolate or sweets, rather than eating them at night. Because if you eat them at night, your body kind of just holds on to all those fatty cells versus in the morning when your body's already like waking up and it's burning everything.
Ready to do stuff.
So I thought that's why breakfast was the most important meal of the day, because that's when you get all the energy that you're going to burn that day. Does that make sense?
To a certain extent. But like, you got to start your day whether or not you want to.
I mean, I never eat breakfast, so that doesn't affect me, but but that's also probably why I'm fat.
Eating breakfast helps with kicking your body out of the fasting state. And so, especially if you're not doing any like intermittent fasting or keto things, having breakfast in the morning is good because it starts your body on the idea of, okay, we need to start expending this energy inside of us. That is, in the shape of calories. But that's why it's good to have a small, sensible breakfast, like a little thing of oatmeal or some yogurt and berries, something that's like 300-400 calories. Unless you're me, then I'm eating like 600 calories in the morning just to like get a boost. And then you can skip lunch because then you'll be hungry as shit. But if you skip lunch and wait till dinner, then you can have, again, not a giant use all your calories dinner, but like a really good sizable dinner. And then you burned a bunch of stuff in the middle because you broke the breakfast fasting. That's why it's called the break fast.
Yeah.
And that's also why eating things like 2 hours before bed is bad, because your body is going into a state of reserving energy and building. Well, that's why I don't think it's that bad to eat near the end of the day, like a little bit of some kind of brain food, because you are trying to regenerate cells and reorganize your memories and do things properly. But that can also lead to, eating a fuckload of things right before bed and then waking up constantly with heartburn. And then you're not rested at all, which is the thing I used to do frequently. I'd be like, I need 2 pounds of hot wings from Noble Pie right before bed.
No, I'm shaking my head at him, everybody.
Yeah, and then I'm just burping
Those are really
garlic.
good wings, but that's really bad. It's so garlicky.
Yeah, and that
so
burn through just every part of you the whole night.
All the way through.
It's terrible.
Like acid. Just burns.
Because they do, there's a fuckload of garlic in the sauce. I know that much. And then they top it with even more garlic. And it's a spicy sauce.
Haley was like, "What is this? Is this onion on the wings?" And I was like, "Oh no." She like ate a little bit. Oh my God. That's garlic?
Yeah, the amount of garlic is insane.
Ridiculous. I do love them. I don't really like hot too much, but like
they just make a tasty wing.
Good.
Although so many times, like,
juicy.
I don't know if I want to keep supporting that place though.
No, why?
We'll see.
Why? What happened?
Nothing. They're probably fine.
Usually, when you start saying that, something really bad's going on.
They're not the ones that are that bad.
I see.
But who knows? I never know. I never know exactly what those business people are doing. I don't know any honest business people. They're all a little bit crazy.
That's true.
So, like, who
crazy
knows?
in their own way.
But then again, who isn't crazy that we know? I'm already gurgling all the spaghetti into myself. I
did too.
Let's see what else is there. I'm not even sleepy yet. I just don't have energy, and because that's my manic energy that I use to do art and things and like make it so I can work like a 80-hour work week, like that's the energy I use. And that's part of the reason that like my psychiatrist was like, okay, maybe we can start one now, because initially she was like, you find your value in doing things and completing things. She's like, that is how you function. So keeping you at, whatever you think your maximum function is healthy for you. And it's only when like I start not being able to do things that I then feel like I don't need to do anything because I have no value. You know, like it's a weird loop. So she was like, we'll start these antidepressants, keep up with, like, if anything is going wrong, tell me, and we can, like, make a plan to stop him. Because I quit SSRIs cold turkey once, and it's a terrible idea. So, like, I'm never doing that again.
Why,
but
what happened?
I just don't remember most of that month.
Oh.
Like, yeah, it's just like, because they are, you know, serotonin, not, I don't exactly know what they're doing in my brain, but it makes it so that your serotonin is regulated, you know?
Yeah.
And so when you immediately just take away all that, you either get points in your day where your serotonin is there and going by itself and doing fine, or it's not regulated anymore, so maybe you're getting nothing. And you're alive but not even conscious. You're just floating throughout the day. And I wrote 3 songs during that time, because that's when I was doing my Sad Giants thing. I would not remember most of that month if I didn't have those songs to go back and be like, okay, well, that is how I was feeling. And this song is weird. Perfect. So yeah, I just, like, I don't ever want to do that to myself again.
Yeah.
Although now that I'm back on these drugs, those old songs might be relevant to me again. And I was already planning on rewriting one of them anyway. So Sad Giants has some new stuff to work with now.
New stuff in the makings.
Yeah, but it's not really new. I mean, we were already working on Docs and Drugs, and that one was my big single back in the day when I was just a acoustic person. I even did that one video, the Songs from the Couch one, with that one. I love that. Like, I used to be like this close to, like, punk rock people that I idolize, you know? Like, I did that Songs from a Couch series, and literally, like, the next video on that YouTube was Joey Cape from Lagwagon. And I'm like, that's insane to me. Because there was only, like, 2 camera guys in entirely different areas making that YouTube series a reality. So it was like, I don't even think there was, oh, fuck, my computer's turned off. Oh, no. Don't do this to me. There we go. But there was only... Sorry, my computer started falling asleep mid-podcast, and that's not good. I got to turn off a setting or something. But yeah, so, like, there was only those 2 guys, and one of them was just, like, one of the guys in the scene who also happened to be doing, like, videography and some other things for businesses in the area. And so my buddy Brian, hi Brian,
hey,
thanks for listening. Hope everything is cool. Kisses. Anyway, he did his, and I was like, 1, dope. 2, how do I get it? And he's like, oh, other Brian does it. And I was like, cool. They were both named Brian. Spelled differently though. So that was,
One AI, the other one Y.
Y-O.
Y-O.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that's a different one.
Yeah.
I have one of my friends growing up is B-R. Wait, hold on. B-R-A-Y-N.
Ooh. Brain?
Wait.
B-R-Y-A-N?
Yeah, that
Okay,
one. Y-A-N. And then I have a kid at work who's B-R-A-Y-A-N. It hurts me every time I have to write it. And sometimes, well, often, very often, I forget that first day. And then I have to go back and rewrite it in there and pretend like it was there the whole time. And they all know it wasn't.
Now I want to name somebody Brain, but spell it with a Y, like Brian.
Yeah.
B-R-A-Y-N. Brain. That sounds like a weird Utah kid name. Like B-R-A-Y-G-H-N. Our little Brain Lee. They're like, there's always a Lee in there. It's fucking...
Like Sandra Lee.
Utah names, man. What was I talking about? Punk rock. That's
rock.
right. Yeah, but like...
Yeah, punk rock.
And so, like, a lot of those Midwest scenes and those bands and those people are just dudes that were like, well, I got kids and I don't want to tour 24/7 because that's going to be irresponsible. And so, like, they've all done shows and shit with, like, these legendary punk rock bands, and then they know them, but then they're just like, all right, cool, have fun on the road, you know? Like, yeah. And so I was on that one compilation that had a bunch of bands that I love, and so, like, it's crazy how close yet how far I am from like doing what I want to do, because doing anything in the sphere of, of the punk scene at large, nationally or internationally, in whatever form it takes, they're super small scenes, but almost impossible to like get into on the actual like doing it professionally. And that kind of sucks because like it doesn't leave much room for people that just want to do it in some fashion. But the guys that are doing it are like, okay, cool, I can do the band, and then I have to run this merch company essentially on the side, or like an entire recording studio. Like it's music can never be the full-time job. You also have to run like 2 other businesses on top of it.
Yeah.
And I always thought that was such a daunting task. And then I remembered I do that anyway. I was like, oh, yeah, like if I ever want to make it, I'm going to have to do a bunch of stuff. I'm like, oh, yeah, a bunch of stuff, like doing a podcast and being a stand-up comedian and also trying to produce other people's stuff and then also having a band. And I'm like, yeah, okay, maybe I'm already doing that and I should just narrow the scope a little better.
When I told Brendan at work that about the podcast, he's like, what doesn't he do? He's just so social. He just does it all, right? And I was like, yeah, pretty much. That's why I like him.
I wish I could do everything. Like the video editing, it takes up so much time, and so like I can't do videos as much as I'd like. But I want to, and I want to be able to Twitch stream more. I bought this stupid computer.
Yeah.
One, because I wanted to be able to record better, and with, a computer that I know is going to be reliable and I can have multiple tracks running of something and it won't freeze out on me, but also so I can play even simple games that I enjoy,
Yeah.
and so now I can.
Yeah. And then you also got that really fancy light.
Yeah.
And all this stuff.
Got my nice ring light.
All the nice stuff that you need to be successful in all of the things that you want to do.
Yeah. It's just the doing part.
Yeah.
And it's not even the doing part. I like the doing. It's the planning. Because if I don't plan, I do things terribly. Like especially if I gotta like improvise midway through, and then that's when the whole Lego building falls apart. The Lego building is my life.
Should I be concerned?
Well, yeah, all the time.
You're supposed to be planning my birthday and Valentine's Day.
There's probably a plan.
Okay.
Really, though, like, my entire life is thinking I've set a plan and then just winging it. That's
usually what I do.
It's been everything. So now, like, I'm at the point where winging it has stopped working. Like, over the past 2-3 years, I'm like, oh boy, winging it has gotten me nearly killed multiple times. It's afforded me less and less opportunities and screwed up a few great things. So now I'm like, okay, no more winging it. But then my brain's like, ooh, how about nothing? And so now I'm like, no, let's just fix that brain part and see about not dropping everything and continuing to do things in a regulated and planned manner, so that they're quality.
Okay.
But quality is subjective, because this podcast is never going to be quality. That was never part of the plan. The plan has changed multiple times, as loyal listeners will know, because because this used to be an entirely different podcast, and 2, like, it has shifted so far from everything that it started as, which is good, because
what did it start as?
Well, it started off as like a weird improv based post-apocalyptic world building dumb fucking comedy podcast.
That sounds kind of cool.
No, it was done, well, it sounds cool, but it was done terribly, and then nothing really ever worked well. And so then it just kind of ended up turning into me talking to all the other local comics in the area and just kind of trying to like interview people and be that way. But I'm not a good interviewer. Because the thing is, like, I honestly
You don't know the right questions
I
to
don't
ask.
care that much.
Oh yeah, that kind of
Like,
matters.
I don't care about the things that other people care about, so I'm not gonna ask them stuff.
Well, you just gotta ask them like, what's your favorite kind of jam? And I'm not talking about your music. I'm talking about the shit you put on your PB&J.
The only correct answer is Smucker's strawberry jam. Everything else is.
I want to know everybody else's answers on that.
Well, they're all, no matter what, they're all wrong.
They're all good. They're all good.
Orange marmalade's fucking garbage.
It's kind of weird. Yeah. Okay. That's kind of weird. But like, I like the fig. I like grape. Give me that grape. But peach is good.
Lingonberry jam.
Oh yeah. How could you forget about that?
Fuck. I guess if I'm gonna pick a jam that I have to put on everything, I would pick specifically IKEA's lingonberry jam.
I got him hooked.
Like I could dump that on. Like if I could just make a meatloaf and then just slap jam on it and be like, close enough, thanks IKEA. It'd be great. Yeah. I think I still have a packet of their gravy hanging out.
Yeah.
One of these days I'll just dump it on something. We'll just eat pasta and gravy.
Okay. We'll put some mushrooms on it. It could be like, what is that, beef stroganoff or something?
That's not even close to what beef stroganoff is. But let me tell you, I make the most dank beef stroganoff.
Really?
Yeah.
I only started liking it like a few years ago. I used to hate it as a kid. I don't know why, but I did. So especially the hamburger helper. I hated it.
Oh, baby.
It was the worst.
Yeah. That's a sad beef stroganoff.
Yeah.
That's the thing is like, I frequently make things that might as well have been like a hamburger helper, yeah. Except I make it from scratch. So I'm like, at least I tried.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's different. I don't know. Like my dad, all he ever did was steak or hamburger. And if he was doing hamburger, it was most likely hamburger helper and no veggies at all. And I was like, what the fuck is this? But my stepdad like actually cooks. He cooks like you. And going from one to the other hurt me so much. I hated having hamburger helper all the time. And then like when I went vegetarian for like 6 or 7 months, I was living with my dad. I just started at In-N-Out. All of the hamburger everywhere.
Hamburger at work, hamburger at home. Everything is just made out of cows.
No veggies. But I was staying with Shelby a lot at the time. Because I was working in Fremont, living in Livermore. And
so you just like wouldn't take the trip sometimes?
Yeah. If I could like hang out where I was working, if I worked the next morning, why wouldn't I?
Yeah, you know? Especially if you're like done at 3 a.m., got to wake up at 11.
Also, well, I wasn't working those hours then because I was a baby.
Oh, yeah.
I was just a wee little level 1. Didn't even know what closing was. It's not until you get like level 2 or 3 that they start being like, oh, you're over 18. Looks like you're closing. But I was like getting off at the latest like 11.
That's not bad.
Yeah. And then like the earliest I would work was 11. A lot of my shifts in my early years were 11 to 11 or, within those hours. I rarely was there before 11. So I didn't even.
God, that's the dream right there.
Right? I miss it. I miss it so much. Sometimes I'm like, man, is management worth it? And then I look at my checks and I'm like, God damn it, it is. Yep.
That's what I was thinking last week when I was like, they don't even pay me overtime. I'm working so hard. And then I got the paycheck and I was like, yeah, I forgot. Oh, yeah, I forgot. I've just been ordering shit off Amazon steady for like a year and not even sweating about it. I was like, never mind. I just bought 2 fucking computer monitors on a whim. I'm fine.
And then like I just got that raise and I'm starting to see those bonuses. Yep. And before my bonuses were like at the lowest 300, but rarely ever. It's more like 400, between 400 and 500. And now I'm getting like 600, 700. And I'm like, ooh. A little extra bonus once a month. Okay. That's nice. I can buy a new car.
Speaking of new cars and nice things, GameStop stocks going crazy. I feel like that it's part of the zeitgeist now, but also I dipped a toe in there.
You said you got 10 shares or something?
Yeah, I sold one no market close. Yeah, I sold one at market close on Friday, just because I was afraid of the dip. But I bought back in today because it went down real bad.
Yeah.
But they're so essentially what's happening is people are theorizing. It's like there's no solid facts out there. People are theorizing though that the hedge funds that are going to be the most fucked by these by this whatever scheme is happening are doing what are called ladder attacks, and so they are trading back and forth with only each other in order to artificially drive the price down. And so the price has gone down to I think it closed at like $225.
Yeah, I remember seeing that this morning.
Yeah, which is not the best.
Yeah.
But like Volkswagen also went through a dip pretty hard before the hedge funds back in 2008 were forced to sell at the unlimited inflated hundreds, possibly thousands of dollars price. So just got to be diamond hands and hold on to it. For anyone not familiar with what's happening, or you want it explained super dumb, essentially what is happening is there's a possibly illegal thing that's been happening constantly that hedge funds will do with their billions and billions of dollars, where they say that they're going to buy a stock at a certain price, and they hope that the price will then go down so that by the time they have to sell those theoretical shares they bought, they will be able to sell them at the lower price and then gain the money that is the in-between between what they theoretically bought it for and then theoretically sold it for. I say theoretically because the buying isn't a hard buy. They just say, I want this much. Hopefully that exists in the market, and then the market just says yeah, sure, we'll put your name on, we'll pencil in your name. So right now, there's 120% of GameStop stock accounted for on the market, which is impossible because, as you know, having 120% of something means somebody fucked up about 20% along the way, that being the hedge funds. So a bunch of idiots on the internet, including myself, bought up all the legit existing GameStop stock that actually exists from underneath the hedge funds while they're still in transit of selling, and drove up the stock to hundreds of dollars. So the hedge funds, not wanting to sell at the higher price and lose a bunch of money, are not selling. But not selling after you have theoretically bought a fuckload, including non-existent shares, has cost them over $13 billion because they keep holding on to shares that don't exist that they don't have. They need to sell eventually, and by sell, that means they need to buy all the shares that they said they were going to buy now at this new inflated price. And they have no choice but to take the price that we have set for them. So that's why so many people are jumping on, because theoretically, if no more shady illegal shit happens, which I'm not crossing my fingers for that, that's going to keep happening. What with Robinhood cutting people's shares, a new thing happened today. I don't think it was Vanguard, but it was one of the other large firms, was just straight up selling people's shares out from under them without their permission. So there's a lot of really shady shit happening, but not only is it happening now in the information age where there's lots and lots of screenshots and evidence of it, it is happening with so much coverage and so many, in their words, autists on the case of fucking over these hedge funds. So there's also fun coordinated media attacks. Like, of course, we've spent the last 4 years not believing in what the media says. And if you're me, just never believing in what the media says, because the TV has always lied and the radio announcers have always been insane. And so, just absorb the world around you and shrug your shoulders. But the amount of news coverage and online articles from quote-unquote reputable sources that are spreading disinformation about what is happening on the Wall Street Bets subreddit is hilarious because I'm on there like daily looking at all this stuff and everyone's just like, no one here's selling, right? No one here's buying stock in silver, right? We're like, yeah, no. Hold on to your GameStop, buy the dips, maybe invest in AMC if you don't have that much money. You know, like, we're all being dumb as fucking possible. And
AMC.
Yeah, and we saved AMC theaters because they got $30 million in revenue they didn't have, and now they're no longer bankrupt and able to stay open.
I didn't even know it was a movie theater.
Yeah, AMC theaters were about to go bankrupt and close down.
I thought we were talking about, like, what The Walking Dead is on.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the same, you know, like parent company and everything. But yeah, so now that company isn't totally fucked, which is nice. GameStop is still fucked, but that place has sucked for forever. So fuck them. They just get to be the proxy war, you know, much like Iraq and Iran had to be for Russia and the United States over the past 20 years. Now GameStop has to be the proxy war between the working class and the billionaire hedge fund managers on Wall Street. So that'll be fun. But
I worked at GameStop once.
What?
You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah. I think it was the first year living in Sacramento. I did it for the winter season, for like the Christmas season. My Corey worked for GameStop, and his roommate owned a GameStop. Like, he was a store manager. And so at this point, he wasn't a store manager, but they pretty much got me the job there. And as you know, I don't really play. I'm not really a gamer. I like to watch people play. So I was pretty much their token woman, giving the guys someone to talk to.
Can't believe you didn't play your first RPG till the Steven Universe one on the iPad.
Well, like, I mean, I've played
like there's
Skyrim.
Yeah, there's
That's
games,
an RPG.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, every game pretty much has RPG elements nowadays.
And like Castle Crashers.
That one's more of a beat 'em up. Oh. But again, that one does have RPG elements.
You have to like upgrade your characters and stuff. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so I've dabbled.
Yeah, you know the basic elements.
I just didn't really understand that particular game, you know?
Yeah, and now I'm
really slow when it comes to learning new things.
RPGs, I mean, as you've been able to tell from Dungeons and Dragons, because oh god, I need to reset all these things on this monitor. All right. We've been playing a Dungeons and Dragons thing. I think we talked about it for a second last week.
Yeah,
or were we just telling people about it? Either way, we got a Dungeons and Dragons campaign going. But like, as you can tell, you know, like all these tiny weird mechanics that we have to do on paper or like in the thing, those were all theorized by some nerd in a book.
Yeah.
You know, 60 years ago, and then Gary Gygax fucking figured it out. And then that worked its way into text-based role-playing games on computers where you had to be like, get ye flask, but you cannot get ye flask. That's a strong bad reference. We'll watch all the emails that I have on DVD one of these days. So yeah, it's interesting to see how many elements of role-playing games have permeated almost every part of the culture. I mean, if you think about it, us using MyFitnessPal is essentially us role-playing ourselves. You know, like we're keeping track of the stats and things for it.
Don't give me those crazy eyes when you say crazy things like that.
Fantasy football is essentially just, you know, an RPG for football nerds.
I was going to say for nerds, but we're all nerds.
So like it's really fun to get through the history of RPGs by starting at the source, tabletop and dice and nerd shit.
But anyway, so back to working at GameStop.
Yeah.
So the opening of, you know, new games, you open up, the line for midnight. Yeah. And I asked if I could cosplay for it. They didn't tell me no, but I didn't get the costume in time. But I was wearing like merch and stuff, you know, and it was so funny. All of the guys in line were calling me out. I was a gamer bimbo or something.
Oh, baby.
Hey guys, how are you?
You were the nerd equivalent of dudes going up and being like, name 3 songs from that band, but name 3 items you pick up in Skyrim or whatever.
It was fun for the time it lasted, but like it only lasted like 2 months. It was not for me. It was too slow. I didn't really I didn't know the product, and that's kind of, it affects your work when you don't know the product. Like, I wish I knew every single game that I was able to sell,
Oof.
but that's a lot of freaking games.
That's a tall order, yeah.
But like a lot of my associates knew almost all the games there, and I was like, oh, I have no competition. I'm not doing this. Their registers were so different from mine, and I'm just gonna stick with my burgers.
Yeah, burgers, I'd say just as important, and really can be much more complex than some video games. I've definitely had better burgers than some video games I bought. I'm going to say on the whole, I've had more good burgers than I have good games.
Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?
How hard would you get fired if you did that at In-N-Out?
I'm not saying it's happened, but I'm not saying that it hasn't happened.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I haven't done it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
don't forget this is a comedy podcast and nothing we say is the truth or even in this universe technically.
Super funny. But what was I going to say?
Buy GameStop stock.
Yep. Buy GameStop. GameStop stock. GameStop stock.
GameStop.
GameStop.
Stonks. So yeah, guys, that's the state of the world. If you haven't yet, this is going to come out tonight. I'm assuming that GameStop will still be crashing tomorrow. It'll probably be in the $180 to $250 range. Diamond hands, baby. Buy up all the stocks you can. We're getting to $5,000. We're taking a rocket to the fucking moon. Buy up all the stocks you can. We're going to stick it to the hedge fund people. Or we're going to lose hundreds of thousands of dollars. Either way, it's going to be exhilarating. I've done dumber gambling that didn't do
That's
anything
true.
but make money for casinos, So like at least at this point I know that there's some billionaire coked out of his mind having like this close to a heart attack because we've cost him $13 billion.
Right.
Which is beautiful. Like that's a suitcase off the Queen Mary for these assholes, but like $13 billion could give like that could give everyone in the US stimulus checks,
Yeah.
So like fuck them.
Yeah.
Tax the billionaires. Like even if we taxed most billionaires at 50%, they'd still be billionaires. So fuck it.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
So fires me up, man.
Yeah,
It's
so
like,
I'm just
people are in really bad states,
Yep.
You know that there are children suffering and cold and hungry literally all the time in our own freaking country that we're all so freaking proud of because it fucking sucks.
The fact that anybody got richer during the pandemic
It's
is
just
crazy.
ridiculous.
Jeff
Like,
Bezos is making $2,300 a
Where-
second or whatever.
I know that people are giving their money because they need some happiness, but those people who have so much extra to spare aren't helping the
doing anything,
situation.
yeah.
It's like, how many Ferraris do you need to be happy? Clearly, you have enough and you're still not happy. Maybe you should do something else.
I read some statistic.
Go on.
I read a statistic somewhere that like if Apple as a company was like a whatever those companies are where like employee owned and everybody gets a share of the wealth that the entire company gets, if that was the case, and they ran it like Ben and Jerry's where the CEO only makes a certain amount above the lowest paid person, and they did that, the lowest paid employee would be making $240,000 a year. So, like, that amount of income disparity, to know that there's probably people working for fucking Apple stores probably not making more than $12 an hour, even though they're supposed
Barely
to be
minimum
experts,
wage.
like, not getting health insurance. They could and should be making over $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
If you're supposed to be some kind of if your job title has genius in it, you should make six figures.
Yeah.
Like unless that's just a little glad hand to fucking jerk off some teenager so that they feel like 40,000 is a lot because they haven't done anything before. Like,
Yeah.
it sucks that so many people that are working for their entire life, 40, 50 hours a week, working terrible hours, having to deal with customers and shit.
That's the worst part, man. Having to deal with fucking dumbass people.
Mm-hmm. If you have to deal face-to-face in a service setting with any amount of, like, they don't make you take a test before walking into a retail location to make sure you're smart enough to talk to another human.
Yeah.
Some people are unreasonably dumb. It just fucking happens. The amount of people that would walk into Best Buy, walk up to me, a cashier, not on the sales floor, not a manager, I'm just running the cash register, and try to, like, hassle me about some shit that isn't even our store. Like, they're talking about some shit that's not even Best Buy's problem, just technology in general, and they're pissed off at me. I'm like, hey, look, motherfucker, either buy a credit card to pad my stats or fuck off. Like, pick a lane. No one that has to deal with that shit should be making less than $80,000 a year. It's not fucking worth it.
Yeah.
It's terrible. So,
You don't have to tell me about customer service.
Yeah.
I love it when people are like, can I get a cheeseburger with no cheese? So you want a hamburger? No. I want the number 2 with no cheese, a cheeseburger with no cheese. Okay, so a hamburger. Again, I told you no, I want a cheeseburger with no cheese. But that's a hamburger.
Fuck it, charge them double. That's the other thing.
It hurts me.
I'm like, this is another reason why I would support more local businesses if they actually ran like they were owned by humans. Because that's the thing I support. When I go into a bar and the bartender is the owner and he just doesn't like someone, he says, get the fuck out of my bar. Yeah. I want that energy everywhere. Yeah. Someone walks into your burger restaurant and starts pulling that shit. Either you're going to pay $40 right now or get the fuck out. You're too dumb for me to talk to,
Dude, okay, so this one time, my favorite manager of all time, Jeff Helfrich, love him. Okay, so this girl at Pay Window, she was crying. She came up because she like mischanged or something. And then the guy got to the window and he's yelling at the person on handout right in the face, spitting, obviously pre-masks. And my manager saw the situation and he went back to the pay window with the girl, got all of the guy's money back, like everything that he spent, gave him his money and said, you're not welcome here. We're keeping your food. You're going to leave with your money. Mm-hmm. And just like kicked him out. And then another time I've seen him like literally almost push someone out the door because they were being so rude to us. And I've always taken that to heart. Like, man, that manager cared about us, like he wasn't going to let anyone disrespect us. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, we're in the food industry, but I'm making more money than you, like I'm flipping burgers and making more than minimum wage. And I'm not here to be disrespected. You came to me for a product and a business and you're going to disrespect me. You're lucky I can't spit in your food. Yeah.
That's the thing that gets me is like, the mentality of so many, mostly Gen Xers. It's mostly people in Gen X that were raised by shitty boomers and or older that still have this sense of entitlement that they're the last of the hard workers. Mm-hmm. And all these millennials. And then they come in and start talking shit and you're like, whoa, I know you heard in 90s sitcoms that the customer is always right or whatever. Or like,
it's the golden rule. Yeah, the customer is always right. Yeah. Number 1. Number 2, if by chance they were wrong, refer back to number 1.
But like, that can't be the case. Like, yeah, literally there's laws saying like you can refuse service to any customer you want because sometimes people are fucking not worth your service.
Yeah.
It sucks that most of the time that only gets used like on gay people trying to get cakes. But like, at the end of the day, the fact that so many people would rather just be like shitty about getting something.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling, and I just fucking I can't even. Maybe some people are just constantly having bad days forever.
Some people just have really bad lives and they want to take it out on others. I know, I've seen it. I've seen it. But usually I can tell when that's going on and I leave them, they leave with a smile. And that's always kind of my goal with douchebag customers, but also like sometimes there's just people that you can't make happy, and they just want to complain, or like they think they know something more than me.
Yeah.
You know, like you think you know my menu better than I do. Please.
Yeah, we even have stickers of it.
Well, I mean, that's a basic one. It doesn't say like 10 cents a cheeseburger or something, 5 cents.
It doesn't even have prices on it.
Oh, okay. Then, yeah.
I should get one that says 5 cents, and I'll be like, my water bottle menu says that these burgers are 5 cents.
Well, because like the iconic old school menus, the cheeseburgers were only like 5 or 10 cents because that's what it was in the late 40s, early 50s. They even sold cigarettes. Did you know that?
Hell yeah.
Up until like the 60s or 70s, and they stopped.
Everything that I like about In-N-Out, I wish existed for White Castle, because White Castle, even with the movie, couldn't survive. Because White Castle, it's kind of gross, but in a delicious, greasy burger way.
Yeah.
But their shitty, disgusting, basically steamed burgers are like $2 to $3 each.
What?
Yeah, and it's like tiny. They're fucking tiny, you know? And so, like, why would I buy one tiny, like, it's like 1 square inch of burger, maybe it's like 2 square inches of
Man, I
burger.
want hamburgers.
But, like, why would I buy 2 ounces of burger meat with too much onions for $2.50 when I can get a Big Mac for $5?
Yeah.
That's like 5 times as big and better. So like, I just really wish that they had a good business model. There was a little place in Brookings, South Dakota, where I used to live. It was called Nick's Hamburger Shop. They had little tiny baby burgers, and you could get a whole sack of them. But they also were like a little too expensive for me. I was really hoping that they would stay like 25 cents or whatever. But nope, that was only like a special deal sometimes. One time I did a show, like legit sponsored by them, and I still couldn't get, like a good deal on the burgers, and that was the only time I ever ate them. So again, support small businesses, unless they kind of suck, in which case then your business sucks and it should fail. Like, that's just how it goes. Run a good business. Unless you physically can't, then ruin the large businesses. Go shit in a Walmart. Like, just do it.
Anyways.
Yeah, don't go shit in a Walmart. A teenager has to clean that. But, like, metaphorically.
Good customer service, guys. Be good customers so that people can give you good customer service.
I think that's a good note to end on.
Oh, okay.
Be good and good customer service, and don't shit in a Walmart. You got anything for the world? You got any suggestions for music or shows or?
No, not sure. Well, if you guys haven't seen Kipo, you need to watch Kipo because it's great. That's pretty much it. Listen to Sad Giants.
Oh,